In this lesson, you'll learn to place windows and doors into our massing concept. So let's go ahead and get started. So to begin placing windows and doors, we'll actually start with our curtain wall system. When working with curtain walls in Revit, you first need to build your curtain wall system, and then once your system is in place, you can actually place your double door or single door, whatever door you're placing into your curtain wall system, you can actually place it in there. So to do this, we'll actually work on our entrance here, and we'll actually place a set of double doors here on this system, and we'll also set up some double doors into this system here as well. So we'll start here. I'll simply take my mouse, and without pressing any buttons or anything, I'll simply highlight any element on this system, and I'll use my tab button to tab around until I get to the actual window pane that I want to replace. Once I see that one's highlighted, I'll simply left click, and you'll notice a pin will appear. We're going to simply click that pin so we can unpin this window pane. What that's going to do is going to allow us to actually swap out that window pane with a set of double doors. So to do that, we simply go to our properties window here on the left of our screen, and we're going to edit type. That way we can go to our load button here, and we can search through a number of our family folders to actually find the door that we want. So we'll click on the family folder called doors, and immediately I already see a curtain wall double glass door. That lets me know it's a double door made of glass, especially for a curtain wall system. And that's exactly what I want for my project here. So I'm going to click open, and I notice it's here in my drop down, so that means I'm getting ready to be able to place it into my model. So I'll click OK, and you'll notice Revit automatically made that replacement for me. So I can hit escape once to clear out of that command, and you can actually see my door is set in place. Once we have that set, we have one more step to do. You'll notice at the bottom of my door here, we have a mullion here, and we can simply highlight that, unpin it, and at the top towards the middle of your screen, you'll see a red X for delete. We're going to delete that mullion. That way we have no trip hazards going into our building. So let's do this one more time on this system here. So again, we'll simply put our mouse over any element on our curtain wall system, and I'll tab until I get to the actual window pane that I want to replace. So I'll replace that one there. Again, we'll unpin that one. And this time I don't have to go to my edit type because this will actually be existing in my drop down now. So we'll go to the drop down menu in our properties window, and you'll see here curtain wall double glass. Once we select that, it's replaced. I can hit escape once. And the last step, simply get rid of this mullion here on the bottom. We'll unpin it and delete it. And now we've really quickly and efficiently created two entrances here for our main entrance. So let's go ahead and explore how to work with doors on our 8-inch masonry roll here on the exterior. There's a couple ways you can do that. As in previous courses, we've actually done it in plan view, but I'm going to explore how we can actually do this in 3D view. So staying here in our 3D view, we can go to our architecture tab, and we'll select a door type. So for right now, I'm going to select two single flush doors here to provide a point of egress out of these two masses. The first one here, we'll place it on the first level, and I'll pay close attention to the dimensions that are being called out for me here in the blue, and I'll place this door here at 14 feet on center off of my exterior wall. And once that's in place, I'll hit escape twice, and I now have a way to get out of this mass here in case of an emergency. Now let's place the second point of egress for this mass here. So again, we'll go to Architecture tab, we'll go to Door button here, and we'll simply place a simple set of doors here. And we'll set this one 14 feet from the center point off the exterior wall here. Hit escape twice to get out of that command. Not only can I do my single flush doors, you can also do some double doors. So I'm going to do the same thing to this side that I did just right here on this other side. So again, in the Architecture tab, we'll go to Door, and this time we're going to choose Edit Type. This will allow us to go search our family folders for a door type that we're actually looking for. So I'll select Load, and I'll look for the family folder called Doors. And I'm going to want a set of glass double doors, a little bit different than the curtain wall set of double doors. I just want simple glass double doors I can place into my model here. And I really like this glass double one here. So we'll go with this option. I'll select open. It's now in my drop down here, and I can see that at the top of my screen. I'll click OK, and let's start placing our double doors. Again, paying close attention to our dimensions here. We'll place this door as close to the center as we can here. And click, and we've got it placed. And let's do our last door here on this side. So we'll click door again, and we'll simply place it here. So really quickly and efficiently, we've added some points of egress for our building here. Now we can begin to explore how we can work with lighting and windows to work with this model here. And there's actually two ways that you can place windows in Revit, and I'm actually going to show you both ways. The first is in plan view, and the third, you can actually do it in 3D view. So let's explore the plan view way first. So here in my properties browser under floor plans, I'm going to start on level 1. And we'll start here on the north side of our building. And we're simply going to be in our architecture tab, and we're going to select windows. I'm pretty content with this fixed 36-inch by 48-inch window, so we'll start there. And if I wanted to, I can make changes a little bit later. Right now, I'm just really concerned about my placement. I'm going to make these windows 7 feet on center. I'm going to make sure I have a nice even spacing. So again, I'm going to make sure I pay close attention to the dimensions that Revit calls out for me. And you know that's 7 feet on center, and that's going to really be important once we start adding more windows for where that center point is. So once I have my position, I can click. And again, you could simply adjust the orientation of your window. If you want it recessed, you can do it that way. Or if you want it closer to the outside, you can do it that way, simply by clicking our flip button. So let's add some more windows here, and we'll make sure these are 7 feet on center as well. Once I have that position right and I got my window pane where I want it, I'll click. Let's do one more set of windows here. And click. I'll hit escape to get out of that command, and let's go to 3D view to kind of explore what we've just created here. So you see how quickly and easily we can actually set these windows in place. Now when I highlight one of these windows, you'll notice in our property browser a couple of dimensions pop up, and these are really important. The first is your sill height. That's the sill height. That's basically from the bottom of the floor or the top of the floor to the bottom of your window here. And you can easily make adjustments. So I highlighted this window, and if I did want to make adjustments to my sill height, I can adjust that to any number I want within my distance, my floor height there. So we could adjust it 4 feet if you wanted to, and you'll see once I click that, I'll type apply, and that window's actually bumped up a little bit. Another dimension, I'm actually going to Control Z to get this back in its original place. I like my 3-foot sill height. We can actually do the same thing on this window here by adjusting its head height. And that's basically where the top of the window, where that is in relation to the floor here. So right now that head height is actually set to 7 feet. And just like when we were adjusting our sill height, we can simply type in a new value, hit apply, and that window will adjust accordingly. So now let's make some more windows, but let's do it let's add it to the second floor here. We'll stick around in the plan view, and after we do the second floor, I'll show you how to do it in 3D view. So we'll go to my first floor here, and you can actually see my windows are in place. Now let's go to second floor plan here, and we have a little challenge here. We don't see our windows. And in order for us to get a nice alignment for our windows and our spacing properly, we're going to need to know what's going on just on the other floor here. So what I'll do is I'll actually click on level 1. And the way around this is to simply click on one of your first windows here, and you'll notice 2 dimensions will pop up. Now without pushing anything, clicking anything, or anything like that, simply go here to your floor plans and now click on level 2. And you'll see these exact dimensions will appear here. Now this will actually give us our guidelines for setting where our windows need to go on the next floor. So I'll simply click on my button right here, which is make this temporary dimension permanent. So once I click that, it'll turn blue, and they're now permanent. And now I can actually place my windows if I wanted to. I can simply go to my architecture tab, windows again, and remember we're placing these on center. So we'll make sure that our center point for our window is lining up with that dimension. I see 7 point in my blue dimension, or 7 feet in my blue dimension, and 7 feet in my black dimension. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. And I can actually keep this process going here. We'll place our second window. And we'll go back to our first floor plan. And in order to get this last window in, we'll just do the exact same thing we just did. Simply highlight that, and we'll bounce over to our second floor. And again, we're just going to really quickly turn this dimension here into a hard dimension, and that option is right here on the bottom. Sometimes you got to scroll out a little further. And once that dimension turns black, I know it's exactly where it needs to be. I can now go to my Architecture tab, Window, and place my window 7 feet on center. So let's go to 3D view really quick, and I'm going to show you really fast how we can do this in 3D view. So we've discovered we can go to each level and create, or we can actually highlight one of those windows and right click. And the next selection I'm going to make is select all instances visible in this view. And what this will let me do, any of these instances or windows that I've created that are visible in this view will be highlighted. I can now use my Control C and Control V to copy and paste, and paying close attention to my guidelines here. So Control C will copy, Control V will paste, and you'll see they're attached to my mouse here, and I can now begin placing my group of windows. So I'll start out here by making sure they're aligned vertically, and you can pay attention to the dimension that's called there on the bottom in the blue. You want to maintain that 21 feet. So if we're really good with the mouse, we can do this. And our next dimension or next snap is actually the sill height, that 3 feet I mentioned to you. Once we're in that place, click, and we've set 6 windows just as quickly as we set 2 windows. So that's a really quick way of getting those windows in place. So in summary, in this course, we've learned how to work in our conceptual massing environment. And we started by creating a 3-dimensional mass from a 2-dimensional sketch that we created. We then manipulated that mass to create a really unique building form that we wanted. And once we've completed our building form, we then took that mass and loaded it into an actual architectural template project. And then we then brought that concept to life by adding elements like walls, roofs, and windows.